Hello guys, welcome back to the Frost Seymour Experience. I'm Paul Seymour.
And I'm Nick Frost.
How's it going, Nick? How's things, man?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, yeah, not too bad, thanks, buddy. Not too bad. Suffering without the Premier League, of course, but we've got a special episode for you today. It's the top 10 Premiership strikers of all time. So me and Nick have been doing a bit of research, and we've checked out all the top goal scorers of the Premiership history, well, strikers, and we're obviously going to share them with you today. As you can see on the front cover here, we've got a picture of Ian Wright. Shockingly, he didn't make this list, Nick. What do you think of that?
I am stunned.
Yeah.
Absolutely dumbstruck. I would have pegged him to be in the top 5, personally.
100%.
To not even be in the top 10, I couldn't believe it.
No, it's madness, isn't it? But obviously, we're just strictly saying from when the Premier League was born in 1992, this is the stats from that. So we're not including Division 1 or old championships, or as it used to be known. And obviously, anything outside of this, no international games and no other leagues. So it's only Premier League only. And let's get straight in at number 10.
Number 10, we have Mr. Les Ferdinand.
Ooh.
351 appearances for Spurs. I think he was a one-man club, wasn't he?
He'd been to Newcastle, of course, QPR.
Newcastle, of course he did, yeah. But 149 goals in those, and 138 wins, 119 losses, and 49 assists. That's a good ratio of assists for a striker, I think.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Les, he didn't actually get any personal Premiership honours apart from the high point being the scorer of the 10,000th Premier League goal.
Yeah. And a bit of
What do you
trivia.
think about that?
Yeah, a bit of trivia for the viewers at home. Who was that against? Let us know. Yeah, what do I think of Les Ferdinand? Oh, do you know what? Quality striker. He was one of the best when he was. I never forget that season, 95-96 season, when him and Newcastle were just blasting up the league and nearly the top. And obviously the season after, Alan Shearer started with him as well. But yeah, one of the best number 9s I think in the Premier League. So yeah, good old Les. Yeah, all the best to him. He was quality. He was to watch.
He was a hell of a player back in the day.
Aye. Right, in at number 9, Michael Owen. So 326 appearances, 150 goals altogether, so bang on. 142 wins and 95 losses with that. 31 assists, but like any striker, very selfish, of course, why not? And his honours include 2 golden boots in the 97-98 season, as well as the 98-99 season. He was the player of the season in 97 and 98, and the Premier League champion, of course, with Manchester United in 2010-11 season. What do you think of Michael Owen, Nick, and his achievements?
Well, he was a hell of a striker, wasn't he? Fox in a box. Made his name for England, really, more than Liverpool, with that fabulous solo goal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Premier League champion, it's got a sting, right, for a Liverpool fan.
Mate, honestly, he was devastated when he went there. But you know what? I'm probably one of the only Liverpool fans who don't hate him for it, because he had a choice of Hull at the time when Newcastle let him go, or Manchester United. And you know what? I can't knock him. I'm not going to knock him. I never will. But yeah, it's a bit gutting he got the Premier League Championship before he won more than Steven Gerrard, of course, which is even worse. But never mind.
But, you know, he'll still be remembered as one of Liverpool's greatest ever, despite the Man U slip at the end.
He did a lot for us, and obviously the FA Cup win over Arsenal, can't knock him for it. The lad did a lot for us, so yeah, I'd put him down one of our all time. All right, who's number 8 then? Here we go.
Right, we've got one of the only still current. There's a couple of current players, but a lot of them are now finished. But number 8, we've got the Hurricane, Big Harry. 150 goals in 218 appearances. I tell you what, that's a hell of a ratio.
Yeah, it definitely is.
28 assists so far in those appearances. Already got 2 golden boots to his name.
Yeah.
No team awards yet.
No.
But six player of the months. I think by the end of his career, he's going to be number 1 on this list.
Yeah, you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the way he's going, I mean, we don't know how old is he? About 24, 25? Probably a bit old, 26. But I'm not too sure how old he is, but I tell you what, he's got a heck of a chance. I mean, we'll obviously get to number 1 in a bit, but yeah, the amount of goals he scores, like you say, it's like his assists, as well as obviously started to do a lot. I think he's got like 8 or 9 assists already this season in the Premier League this season, so he's doing really well. But yeah, he's an all-round top striker, and to be number 8 already on this list, and he's still got a good couple of years out of him, well, quite a few years. Yeah, I think that's a good shout, Nick, to be honest.
You heard it here first, folks.
Soon to be number 1.
Okay, number 7.
All right. Number 7, Jermaine Defoe. Yes, so 496 appearances in the Premier League, 162 goals, 185 wins and 188 losses. Obviously, the losses overshadowing the wins there, of course, but he did get Goal of the Month, which was a banger, if I remember, in 2016-17, and one Player of the Month to go with that. 33 assists. Jermaine Defoe, do you know what? He could play at any club and score you a hat full of goals, couldn't he? He's been around a bit, but he's always boss. I mean, he's in his late 30s now, isn't he? He's still getting there, doing the job in Rangers. So I've always liked Jermaine Defoe. I've always thought he's a quality striker, and he can adapt to any team. So what's your opinion of him, Nick?
Yeah, I agree completely. I don't think he's ever really got the recognition he deserves. No. I think at one time he was probably the best striker in the Premiership.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
deserved more.
I thought it was good.
Deserved more honours than he's actually got, I think, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's the number 7 highest goal scorer in the Premiership of all time, and very little honours to go with it.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's a fair play to him. He's moved around a bit, like I say, but yeah, there was no touch on him, especially him and Crouchy. Do you remember? It was like little and large, wasn't it? At Portsmouth.
Great partnership.
Yeah. So yeah, Jermaine's a good man. Like him.
Moving swiftly on to number 6. Dun dun dun. It's another Liverpool legend.
Yes.
Robbie Fowler.
Nice.
379 Premiership appearances, 163 goals. That's come with 164 wins, and 111 losses, and 39 assists.
Yeah.
Honours and awards, he's had 2 Player of the Months, Premiership-wise, and that's it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bit of a sore one for me, of course. Robbie signed for my beloved Blackburn, made 3 appearances, and buggered off.
Yep. Picked up his paychecks hereby.
Yeah.
No, well, we know him back at Anfield as God, of course. He still holds that title after all this time. One of my favourite strikers of all time for Liverpool, of course. Probably in my top 3, definitely. The guy was lethal when he was on his left foot. I mean, he scored some bangers with his right. He had some little chips and whatever. But I tell you what, with his left foot, it was once he was through, he just had every bit of confidence in him. Yeah, shame we didn't have any extra awards. Obviously in the Premier League, of course. But other than that, yeah, I thought he was a great striker. And he was always up there. But obviously, other players, which we've not got to yet, were always just that 1 or 2 goals ahead of him. So he never made the top goal scorer of the season. But yeah, love a Robbie Fowler back now.
Of course, we have to mention his infamous celebration.
Oh, goodness me, yeah. Yes, that was, there's a few, wasn't it? There was one with another with a Blackburn player. Which was, that's up to debate what that was all about. But yeah, he was a bit controversial when he wanted to be.
Good for the game, though.
Yes,
bit of controversy.
Character. You need that, didn't you? Yeah.
Okay, coming in at number 5.
There we go. Thierry Henry. Now, little known fact: this is my favourite striker from abroad. This is, and obviously I've seen Suarez and Torres play us, and Salah, of course, currently Mane. But Thierry Henry for me was just my all-time favourite. I just think the guy was amazing. So 258 appearances, 175 goals in that, which is phenomenal. 157 wins and only 39 losses. Considering that, and obviously he's got a heck of an ode of honours to go with his Golden Boot 2001 and 2, 2003 and 4, 2004 and 5, and 2005 6. That's 4 out of 3 in a row, but 4 altogether, which I think is the highest on this list. Player of the season twice in 03-04 and 05-06, and a Premier League champion, of course, was Arsenal 01-02 and 2003-04 with the Invincible side, of course. Yeah, phenomenal player, man. What do you think of Thierry Henry?
Yeah, he's probably my second favourite striker of all time.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think you probably know my first.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Skill, probably unmatched, really.
Yeah.
He was so sublime. You'd think he could probably put on a pair of boots now and still be one of the best in the Premiership.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely have him.
The skill level was just incredible.
Yeah. He had everything about him, the Vavavoom and all that. And I've just noticed there, 74 assists in that as well, which is quite high. Yeah, the guy just had it all for me. As soon as he had the ball, his long legs, and strided away, no chance. No chance of catching him, was there? Yeah.
It's no surprise he was Arsene Wenger's favourite son.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, so
moving on. on
Number 4.
to number 4, Aguero. Of course, most famous for that commentary.
Yes, indeed.
Winner over QPR.
Yeah.
But let's not overlook the fact he scored 180 goals in 265 appearances.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
178 wins, 44 losses, and 46 assists. It's pretty good going for Sergio.
Yeah.
1 Golden Boot, 14-15 season, and Premier League champions 11-12, 13-14, 17-18, and 18-19, and 7 Player of the Months.
Ooh, bloody hell. Amazing. I mean, that Aguero, when you just put on there the extra O's. I was all beat that day, of course, because obviously anything against United it was a thing. But I mean, the whole Premier League that season was phenomenal alone, wasn't it? The way he finished them off there. But yeah, again, phenomenal striker. He was always there. When he was playing, he always had that fear that he's going to do something. He's one of them players that always had that something in him. And he had a lot going for him in Atletico Madrid before he came to Man City, and he was one to watch. And when Man City got him, he was just all bets were off. He was on it, wasn't he? So yeah, a fantastic player. Still playing now, of course, and who knows? He's only nearly 46, nearly 50 games. If he got his injuries sorted out, who knows?
He's still got time to climb the charts. He's still active. Still playing in one of, if not the top team, arguably in the league.
Yeah.
So good luck to Sergio.
Can
he do it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, now we're getting to the crunch time. Top 3.
The nitty gritty.
Number 3. Now this one was a surprise to me, so take it away, Paul.
All right, number 3, Andrew Cole. Yes, so previously known as Andy Cole, but obviously prefers to be known as Andrew these days. It's 414 appearances, 187 goals, 206 wins, 106 losses. 1 golden boot in 93-94 season. That was for Newcastle United. And then appearances of assists, 73 assists. Sorry, that was amazing. Obviously, a lot of that was with Dwight York, wasn't it, back in the day, and Teddy Sheringham for United and stuff like that. So, Premier League champion 5 times, which I believe is the highest on here. There might be another one. 95-96, 96-97, 98-99. That was 99-2000 and 2000-2001. 98-99 being the treble-winning season, of course, for United. Phenomenal striker. Did it really? He started off slow, didn't he, at United, but eventually picked it up. What do you think of Andrew Cole?
Yeah, I mean, he's a hell of a player. Of course, he also played for us.
He did.
Helped us to win the League Cup, so I've got the utmost respect for him.
Yes.
Like I say, I was surprised by his goal talent. I knew he'd won a lot, but I hadn't thought he'd scored that many, so it's a pleasant surprise. You've already mentioned Dwight York, of course.
Yeah.
Hell of a partnership back in the day.
Oh.
It was almost telepathic at times.
They were phenomenal.
It was brilliant to watch.
Yeah. So, number 3.
So, number 2.
Here we go.
Wayne Rooney. I mean, none of us can be happy about a Man U player being on this list, of course.
Being this high up, of course, yeah.
But you can't take anything away from Wayne. 491 appearances, 208 goals, 284 wins, and 103 losses.
And say, I wish.
Yeah, of course. 103 assists for a striker.
Sublime.
Wow. Player of the season 09-10, goal of the month 17-18, and matching Andrew Cole for Premier League champions. He won it 06-07, 07-08, 08-09. 10-11 and 12-13. I'm surprised his goal of the month was in 17-18 and he didn't win on his debut goal for Everton.
Yes.
It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I think I was watching with you guys at the time. We had a group meet, and that banger he scored against Arsenal. My God, it was phenomenal, that goal, wasn't it? It was 16 then as well. To do that against a team like Arsenal said it all, because Arsenal's defence was tight as a nut then, wasn't it? Yeah, phenomenal. I think that was the overhead kick goal, isn't it? 17-18, where it comes just off the bottom of his foot. Yeah, that was phenomenal. But yeah, Wayne Rooney, obviously rivalries aside, you've got to understand that he just had everything, didn't he? He was bullish, and he was a good striker overall. Like I say, his assists speak for himself as well. It just shows he wasn't just a goal scorer, but obviously assisted a lot with his team. Van Persie obviously benefited Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, all the players over the past as well. So, yeah, fair play to Wayne. Like I say, rivalry aside, I think he's phenomenal. He's obviously now still going at Derby. But, yeah, good player overall.
Yeah, looks like he'll go on to manage Derby as well, the way it's heading.
Yeah.
When he does finally hang them up.
Yeah, well, if he's got he's got the experience as a football player, of course. A lot of players going into management these days, so, I'd like to see how he does. Maybe may take over Everton one time. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It would be nice to get Derby promoted, give him one last hurrah in the Premiership.
Yeah, I mean, Derby's my second team, as some people know out there. Not all people know, but I do like Derby as my second team. So, yeah, I wish him all the best with that, to be honest.
Okay. And finally, moving on.
Number one. I think most people know who this is, but drum roll. There we go.
Was there any doubt?
Nah, of course, man. Phenomenal, isn't it? Number one, Alan Shearer. 441 appearances, 260 goals. A record that's not been broken in 15, 16 years. 203 wins, 129 losses. His Golden Boot, 1994, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97. I think that's what kept Robbie Fowler out. Player of the season, 94, 95. Was a phenomenal season. Of course, your Premiership winning season, which I will mention there, 94-95 with Blackburn Rovers, who played them 4 times and 64 assists. And in fact, he was an all-out striker. I thought that's quite a lot of assists for a striker like that. But I'll let you take it away. He did it all for your boys. What do you think?
He did indeed, of course. Speaking of his assists, we mentioned a few partnerships. Obviously, we're going to mention the Shearer and Sutton SAS partnership, which took us to that title.
Yeah. Phenomenal combo. Yeah.
One of, if not the best, partnerships of the Premiership era.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, obviously I'm biased. I'm going to say it is the best. Bias aside, it's still going to be up there.
Yeah, of course.
How could it not be? It won the title.
Yeah. That's it.
But a lot of respect for Shearer, of course. Obviously, it was good to lose him to Newcastle, but twice he turned down Man U. First to come to us, and again to go to Newcastle, his hometown club.
Yeah.
Could have had a hell of a lot more trophies, and his talent probably deserved a lot more trophies.
Yeah.
But showed loyalty to his hometown. You've got to respect that.
Yeah.
And a deserved number one, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. He's my favourite English striker of all time, as Alan Shearer. I love watching him for England as well. Of course, he was. Especially Euro 96 and that onwards, it was just fantastic that tournament for him. But yeah, Alan Shearer's all right, and some of his goals, very rarely with time, but he could do anything, couldn't he? Header, left boot, right foot bangers. All round. He was again another player, very bullish, very much like Rooney. He shoulder bars out of the way, gets stuck in. The guy was phenomenal. There's no way around it. And he was straight to the point, straight to goal, bang. That was all you wanted from Alan. That's what he gave you. So, yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Every game you played with him, you always expecting a goal.
Yeah.
You think, we've got one goal guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, that's the top 10 Premiership strikers in terms of goals scored.
Yeah.
We've missed one player off the list because he's not a striker, but do you know who else would have been in the top 10 Premiership scorers?
I would say, Stevie G was one of my favourites, of course, but I think his close rival, Frank Lampard, I believe, was up there. I think he was up. I don't know how many goals he got, but he's got quite a few.
Spot on, absolutely.
Yeah.
Frank, if we'd done it for any players, he would have been number 8.
Wow.
Super Frank for a midfielder.
Yeah.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah.
But so we've done the strikers in terms of goals scored.
Yeah.
But in terms of all-round game, ability, one last question to ask you, Paul. Who is the best of all time when you look at it objectively?
Well, I think again, I've got no bias in this one. I do believe it is Alan Shearer. I just think the guy was everything I loved about the striker. He was his shape, everything about him was the best striker for me. Closely followed by Thierry Henry, because I loved Thierry Henry. I thought he was phenomenal. But interesting question. Yeah, but definitely for me, Alan Shearer. I think probably for yourself as well, I'd imagine. But I'm going to throw a question back at you. Any of these players that are not on here, who is the best striker who hadn't got the most goals, in your opinion?
That's not on the list.
Not on the list.
Best striker, I might surprise you, and I'm going to go with Fernando Torres.
Okay.
While he was playing for Liverpool, only because I saw him play in the flesh. Just how good he was at that time just absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
He was, I mean, unfortunately, it was a game against Blackburn and he destroyed us.
Yeah.
But he was just something. He wasn't the same player at Chelsea, but at Liverpool, he was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
For me, see, if it goes down to striking, which is what this is about, I'd probably go with Didier Drogba. I think he had something about him. He could get things done. Sometimes a few antics in the penalty box. Obviously, I didn't appreciate, of course. But other than that, you take that away. I mean, honestly, the guy, again, he had everything. A bit like Alan Shearer, he had the head, he had the left, the right boot. He was a hero for Chelsea in many other games outside the Premiership. But obviously, for talent, I would say Luis Suarez, because I thought that guy was probably the closest we've had to someone who was very skillful on the ball, like Thierry Henry, I suppose. But he was very skillful on the ball as well. He could take any ball and just work with it, and he'd scored some goals that were impossible to score. But for me, probably Didier Drogba overall.
That's a good shout. One other question, because we spoke about him a lot during our podcast, but he wasn't even close to this list. Where would you put Jamie Vardy?
See, do you know what? I think he'd be, if he was in this list. Obviously, I think he definitely needed to be there. I think if he'd have started 10 years prior in the Premiership, he would have easily topped this one. I think. You know what? Vardy's got everything as well, hasn't he? He's got that. He's not as bullish as the others I've mentioned before, but he's a bit like an Aguero kind of player. Probably a little bit skinnier, but again, cracking striker. Really, yeah. I fear for our next game against them at Anfield. I really do. He's going to have a field day against our limited defence. So, not looking forward to that. But yeah, one of the best, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. He's been phenomenal, hasn't he? Really, Jamie Vardy.
Okay, well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
What do you think? If you're watching, who would you say is the best of all time?
Yeah, and let us know internationally as well, because obviously we talk about Premiership every week, but let us know what you think internationally. See what you think of the best strikers, because there's hundreds of players out there that you could choose from. So, let us know in the comments. All right.
Okay, well, that about does it for another episode of the Frost Seymour Experience Special Editions.
Yeah, special.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you have, give us a like.
I'll give you a like. Take care, guys.
See you next time.
Peace.